If you're dating somebody and exploring a long-term relationship with them, what do you talk about? Do you like Manjumal boys or Dune? Do you like benne dose or sushi? Are you a fitness freak or a couch potato? Well, as somebody who's been successfully married for 25 years, let me tell you, it is not these issues which cause breakups in relationships. It is usually issues relating to money or other serious matters. In this episode of Question of Money, I am going to talk about the money issues that you need to thrash out with your partner before you commit to a long-term relationship. So let's talk about the first issue. I had an arranged marriage, so I didn't know my husband at all when I first met him. So one of the first questions that we discussed was how much each of us earn and what were our plans for a career. Whether we had plans to quit for a better job anytime soon, whether we had plans for higher education and so on. Now, this kind of a discussion is important because it sets the ground rules for your later decisions. Talking about your career plans can also help figure out whether both of you are equally ambitious. Usually it is disagreements about career and work-life balance that is a breaking point in many relationships. The second thing to talk about is about dependents and loans. So one of the early things that I told my husband was that I was the eldest daughter for my parents and that I would like to support them throughout their life if they needed it financially. So he also then came good with the disclosure that he has a sister and a dependent mother who would be living with us. Now, this set the ground for our later financial plans because we both decided then to keep our bank accounts separate so that we could help our respective relatives whom we wanted to help. The other thing to disclose, which is quite important, is whether you have any loans coming into the relationship or coming into the marriage. Even something like credit card dues is something that you should disclose. This is because all loans have implications for your future lifestyle together and for how you are going to manage your finances. In fact, keeping no secrets about your loans and helping out relatives will help you later in your marriage too. Even if you are standing surety for a friend, it is better that your partner knows about it. Now, some of us come from families where you think about spending even on roti, kapda or makan. But some of us come from backgrounds where money is spent like water on European vacations or Louis Vuitton bags. Now, if two of you want to have a relationship and you have such diametrically opposite attitudes to spending and saving, that can lead to a lot of trouble later. After all, nobody wants to be in an unequal relationship where one person does all the spending and the other person does all the saving. So, there are 4 things that you need to thrash out with your partner right at the beginning. How much do you usually manage to spend every month and how much do you manage to save? What you consider as spending on luxuries and what you consider as essentials. Whether you have any habits that take up a good portion of your savings. It could be pubbing quite often or it could be F&O trading. What are your big financial goals and aspirations? Thrashing out all these things can help you figure out what is the cushion you're likely to have for your finances in future in terms of saving and investing. It's quite likely that you're not on the same page with your partner on all these spending and saving habits. In that case, there's no problem. You can work out a compromise where you decide to save a minimum of 15% of your joint income, and you can also have a sort of system where you consult each other if you plan to blow up say more than 10,000 on a particular thing. Both of you need to know roughly what you will be bringing into the marriage or relationship in terms of your investments. Of course, this is not a corporate merger, so you needn't disclose your balance sheets or something. But it helps to know roughly what is the kind of net worth and investments that will be available to you as a couple if you have to plan for your future. In terms of risk appetite also, two people can have vastly different behavior. So somebody may be comfortable investing only in FDs, the other person may be punting on cryptocurrencies. Now if you are like this, you can be sure that you cannot have joint investment portfolios and you need to separate them. Do remember that having these conversations is much easier when you are early in your relationship. If you try to have these kind of conversation pretty late in your relationship, it can be quite a romance killer.